And welcome to Show and Share at Knox Makers. It is yet another Tuesday night. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern, we will gather here to show what we're working on, what we've built, our failures, so that we can learn from those. And we learn about all kinds of cool stuff here. So, tonight we have some, looks like some pretty cool things to look at. So without any further ado, PC Rob and Toby are going to show us the Knox Makers test number 1.
So Toby and I have been working, that's why I said technically it's like 4. We've been trying to do some casting using, sorry, I'm not loud enough? Nobody's ever said I'm not loud enough. Okay, sorry. So we've been trying this for a while, doing some casting. We were out, we did some pouring. I have a little mini forge where we can melt aluminum and brass all in miniature. We tried that, we got that working correctly, but we tried doing some casting out in the blacksmith shop, and that was, I think, 2 different times, and they were complete failures. It didn't work at all. But this time, we decided to try it a different way.
So you show that.
Oh, the camera is running. I'm not used to seeing no lights. So this is one of the original, this is an example one, right? This is this is pure resin. So Toby printed this. It's resin printed. Oh, we're going the other way now. And so you can see he's got a lot of detail in here. There's our little Knox Makers. Right, and so we did this, had some ideas, but we realized this might not work the way we expect, because as the brass, we're going to do this in brass, comes down, the flow around here is really tight, and we need a lot down in here. So we talked about it, and we changed over. First we did it, this is the resin that is a waxable burnout. So this is the same process, except this resin out of the resin printer can be burned out. The other was resin plastic. It's not going anywhere, right? But this will burn out in a burnout oven, the same thing.
And it turns into nothing. No ash, no nothing.
It vaporizes, right? That's why we did it in the welding area with the hoods, because we made the mistake the first time we tried it, and we were in Billy's area and it got a little smoky. So here you go. Here's now in resin, right? And we decided, see, we've got the pipe that'll bring that down. Obviously, this has to get cut out. Then we cut that out. And so we thought, let's give it a shot. Now, we got to donate. Paul's dad was a dentist, and he donated the burnout oven that his dad used to use. And so we had done a lot of testing with that, see that it could get up to temperature. And so the first time we did it, the mistake we made on the first one we did, it takes about 6 to 8 hours to burn this wax out. And for obvious reasons, we don't want to leave the shop with that running at 1,300 degrees and go home for a while and come back. So somebody's got to sit and babysit the thing for about 6+ hours while this thing is getting burned out. So the first time we did that,
It was on Saturday.
It was on a Saturday. Toby came in, he did all the burnout. We figured Tuesday, the following Tuesday, I'd come in and we'd go ahead and do a pour. The problem is, we think there was a couple things that failed on it.
Number one, it did not have the flow through tube.
Right.
So it was exactly like this one right here.
But we didn't even get to the pour.
And it went back to powder.
It disintegrated. And what we speculated was, it was at 1,300 degrees, Toby turned the oven off, we pulled it out and let it cool down. Of course, it's dry. At 1,300 degrees, there's no moisture left in that at all. Well, it sits for 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it's absorbing all the moisture in the air, which is then turning it back into a powder where it starts. It didn't fall powder, but as soon as you touched it, it just crumbled and fell away. So we couldn't pour it. So we realized, no, you have to take it out of the oven. You already have to heat it back up again before you pour anything into it, because you can't pour into a cold mold, right? You have to preheat it. So we figured we'd take it out of the oven and then heat up the metal and pour it right into that hot piece. And that's what this guy is. So this is our mold, Toby's mold. And you can see, thank you. This goes in this way. It holds it. This just puts some tape around the outside, right? And you fill it up with plaster. And then this gets inverted and pressed in. And it holds it upside down for it to cure. Of course, with the holes on the side and just tape.
It actually holds it up that way to cure.
Oh, I'm sorry, you hold it this way to cure. Oh, that's right, you go this way and you pour in this way. See, this, Toby said, you're gonna do this. I'm like, I didn't do this part.
This part's the way it cures and all like that.
Right.
And then the next one, when you take the stopper off the bottom, everything pours out down below, so it's still put in the burnout oven the same way.
Right, so you got your phone? Let's show a couple of the examples before we show you, because we did that this Saturday. Toby came in and spent 6 hours with his laptop board and just sitting back there babysitting the thing while it was heating up. And then I came in about 3:30 or so. He said it was all set to go, and I fired up my forge, melted some metal, but before we do that,
So this is it sitting in the actual mold itself, in the little plaster deal, after it's been poured and solidified.
you see a little bit of wax.
So you see the little bit of stub still poking out. Of course, the burnout oven is that right there. And then, of course, we set it in to go ahead and burn out. The little square tray on the bottom is a drip tray. Not that we need it, but we wanted to make sure that the wax didn't go out to everything during the first real burnout, to make sure that we didn't make a mess, basically.
Inside the burnout oven.
Yes. So the burnout oven does get very, very, very hot.
So that,
As
what do you
in-
think, that was a couple hours in?
That was right before the end. So it actually does get to about 1350, almost 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, of course, when we pulled it out, this was Rob getting the propane torches already set to melt the
So that's
brass.
my forge, it's about
Little baby
6,
forge.
8 inches in diameter.
So there's a better picture of the forge right there.
You can see it's a spin forge. The propane flames spin around on the inside, right? The two
And you can
propane-
see it. That I believe was the brass in it.
Yeah, that was still brass solid.
There's the flame coming out of it. Actually, it's video. I forgot I took a video. And you were testing to make sure it was liquefied at the time,
And
which
I
it
pulling-
was.
I think pulling the slag out.
You did.
To make sure that's.
No, you did. And then after he poured it in, it's still red hot, even though it looks purplish on
But-
the.
And I'm gonna have you go that way there. This I did for Joe, I saw him, right? Because I did not want liquid metal going anywhere near that top. So you notice I got an aluminum tray with a heat sink. So that if anything overflows or does bad things, it stays way away from that
And
table.
there's the actual pour as well, which brass evidently pours in like water.
Yeah, that's a about 4-inch heat sink.
So we did get a video of the pour. And then, of course, afterwards, we ended up with a metal ring, even though it does not look great there. And that's before it was polished.
And of course, you have to cut off the spurs that you put on there.
So basically the two spurs, and then that's him sanding the little spurs. And then you have to polish it, and I'll let you show the
To finish.
one that we've got right now.
That's brass. Right, so there's our brass.
So that's after an hour in the magnetic polisher. So it is not pretty because I didn't do cleanup. After I printed it, I didn't clean up all the little spurs, all the little notches and everything. I was just kind of,
You can
let's
see what
just
it-
do it, let's do it and see what we can do.
You can see, that's where I had, polished up where the spurs were, and you can see there's an inside one that's kind of like that. But the idea here is that if we had spent the time on the wax in advance and polished that super smooth, it would have then been super shiny, but it still works. You're gonna hand it around?
Yes, we will actually pass that around so that way people can see it. And the cool thing about it is it actually does fit my hand as well. So you can actually see. When I made it, I've got size 13 ring, so I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and make it the biggest that we can possibly do. So it is a heavy ring.
You'll feel
And
it,
you
yeah.
could probably hurt someone if you threw it at them, so please don't throw it at someone.
Questions?
Did you source like actual casting brass, or did you?
No, this was scrap. I have lots of brass from my
Pipe
lathe at
fittings, you name it.
home. Well, not pipe
I've been
fittings, but
seeing like a whole container full of this stuff, but I've heard it's difficult to cast with it because of the silicone content.
it's not perfect, and also maybe why we're not getting a beautiful shine on it, right? But for what we're doing, it's fine, right? The brass that I'm using may be a lot purer than that, because all of mine is from real brass rods, solid brass rods that I cut down and use on my mill or my lathe. I love cutting brass, it cuts so nicely. But it's all my scraps that I've been collecting. And I still have piles. I told Toby, I got plenty, we'll just keep bringing in. We did an experiment with my forge. We got aluminum and did a pour, and all we did was just pour little ingots. Aluminum has really high surface tension. Liquid aluminum, really high surface tension. So when you pour it, it'll bubble up and look like a muffin, and that surface will not break, right? When you do the brass, we discovered, because we then turned around and did brass, it's like pouring water. When you pour that, as it gets above the mold, it just liquefies right off the side. So it has almost no surface tension. So we knew when we go to do a pour in a small detailed thing, aluminum would be terrible because it's going to want to bind to itself. The brass I knew would be like water. Pour that thing in and it just whoop, whoop right around.
I have no clues what I'm doing, so.
No centrifugal force, straight pour, right?
And did not vacuum form the investment cast either.
Either. He just sort of shook it, banged it, and called it.
Yeah, so.
Any other questions? Once, twice, sold. Thanks.
That is a super cool project. Been waiting to see that one. Can't wait to see the next pour. Very cool. Joe has a trophy. I don't know if he made it, won it, or what did you do, Joe?
Making.
He's making a trophy.
Process.
He's in the process of making it.
Hello, everybody. All right. So, I often refer to myself as a professional volunteer. One of the other nonprofits that I'm part of is doing this as a fundraiser. This Friday, down at Volunteers Landing, there is the championship run. And basically it's a Red Bull event where they try to run across a pole and grab a flag off the end of the pole. So we are making a trophy as a fundraiser that the winner gets to, hike up and everything. It's kind of in process. I really did just finish the structure. I haven't glued down the AstroTurf yet, but I don't know if this is going to work at all. But I tried to make little lines on it. It's supposed to kind of mimic football fields. So the poles that they're running out of are supposed to be the uprights. And then over here is going to be the sign that says championship on it. I'm getting stickers made for it. And it's going to be big stickers on each side of it. And then this guy is going to be basically the sign that's going to go like there. So it'll be about that size.
What does it say?
It says So simple design, but yeah, the event's this Friday. If you guys want to come down, this is sort of the way that the stage is supposed to be. They're renting a barge and welding the poles to it. So they'll run out over the Tennessee River, and when they fail, they fall into the river. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, any questions about anything? I think I've got about 12 hours into it. Yeah, it's a lot of grinding and such. Oh, good question. I actually brought them. So I got Red Bull cans, and I cut the little flags out from them, and I'm gonna mount them on the ends over there like that. Yeah, thanks for asking. I forgot to show that. I'm going to weld a pole onto the end, and then I'm going to use epoxy to hold the aluminum onto the little poles. So. Amy? Well, if you're really good, I guess you can run back down the pole, but I think that everybody's going for a swim who's competing. If there are multiple winners, my understanding is they base it on time, who gets there the fastest to the flag. So, but yeah. But, right on. At Volunteer Landing, right downtown, yeah, right over here. And yeah, it starts at 4 o'clock. I think it runs till 7. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, Joe. Next, Wes is up with a failed sublimation.
Yes.
Hello. Certainly, I do not like showing my failures, but in this case here, I actually did them 4 times in a row, unfortunately, because I wasn't checking to see if they actually adhered correctly. Now, this is a mug that I'm giving to some friends of mine for a game that we have completed. Took us about 1.5 years to do the game, but essentially what happens here with the sublimation is you print out your picture on the piece, and then using heat and pressure on your mug or whatever you want, it will adhere to the object. In this case here, you can clearly see that it is adhered barely, and it did not come out at all. I'm guessing that it's too thick of a piece of paper for it. It's possible. If someone has done this before and succeeded, let me know. I'm going to try another piece of paper tonight and see if that works. But I did 4 of these, brought them home, and then they were all a failure. So had I checked the very first one and seen that it failed, I would have changed something up. Instead, I ended up using about 3 or 4 hours of my time to discover they did not work correctly. So, yeah. The mug it's just like a glass. It's like a glass kind of plastic mug. So, yes.
So, I noticed that they sell sublimation mugs that actually adhere to.
This is a sublimation mug. Yes. Good question.
You did it in sublimation paper.
Yes. Now this one was found. This piece of paper was found in a box that says sublimation on it. There was other paper in there that said Hippo on it, and it was thinner. So I want to try that one tonight and see if that works. The temperature was correct, is 365, and it went for 120 seconds. So I might try the other heat press mug thing to see if that works. We'll see. Cool. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
We have faith in you, Wes. You can do it. All right. Next is Greenhoe with a record cabinet. Uppy. And he has an uppy with him.
It's gonna take me a second. All right, so right here. Usually she yells "we." Sorry. So I built a cabinet to hold all of our extra records. This is probably the worst light ever to show off a walnut piece. The fact that it's sitting on the floor where none of you can see it anyway is kind of, a beautiful thing. Kind of a cool piece. So I bought 2 standing walnut trees from a former member 2 years ago and had them milled up and stickered them. They've been in my garage ever since, drying out. This is the very first thing I built from them. It's just really beautiful stuff. Comes from Knox County. I just thought it was kind of neat. So the impetus for this is we have a record player. It is 6 feet long. It's 18 inches deep, 18 inches high. Same form factor as this, but being 6 feet long, you'd think it would store a bunch of records. It stores like 10. So, not to brag, but I own more than 10 records. And so I figured out like where the thing sits, how much space I have left on that wall. So I was like, okay, if I maximize the space and I design this thing correct, I can fit every single record I own in this thing. We're good. Okay. So I had this idea several months ago, finally got around to building it recently. In that time, we've collected more records. So like we're still in the same spot we started, storing them in a closet. And then, because I'm an idiot multiple times over, I didn't make this thing correct, and it wouldn't have held them all anyway. So the whole idea behind this, Billy, just deal with me. Records go in the front, and then I had this idea because it's bigger than a record is. So this is 18 inches deep. Records are 12 and a half inches square. There was room on the side to put more right here. But when I made the panel, I forgot about it because I'm an idiot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then when I went to cut the dovetails, because it still wasn't too late, I just happened to grab that side and cut all the dovetails into it first, which solidified my idiocracy. So now we just don't have that. But now I have this big void in the back that's just wasted space, so I decided to put a hidden cubby into it. And so I'm going to turn this thing so you guys can see it. So you can see it on that side. And what's neat about that is it's completely grain wrapped, so the grain runs straight through. And if you can't see it, I'll put it up here soon. Maybe. Okay. If I can zoom in on this thing. I have to remind myself how to use this one. What? Ow. We got a new one. I should have been here last week. So you can kind of see it here. So, okay. So the grain runs fully through. The square is already cut into that. And had everything gone perfect, the grain would have been absolutely perfect in this thing. I didn't have my hardware in mind when I made this. I wanted some sort of like push to open hardware, and I was able to find some, and it had extremely tight tolerances on exactly where it had to be positioned so that everything lines up and everything. So I milled pieces to be absolutely dead nuts perfect, put it in there, and when I was all done, the thing was sticking out about a 1/16, which is really frustrating. And then just because they wanted to be mean to me, they made it so it had like 0 adjustability. So I had to plane one side of the panel off by a 1/16 of an inch, so now the grain no longer matches absolutely perfect, and it will frustrate me forever. The upside is that side actually sits up against the record player, so no one will ever see it anyway, but it is kind of neat. I can put my treasures in there, which is kind of fun. And so it's just got a little clip here, a little piece of brass in the back, so it slots down into it. You can take a look at it afterwards. The back is raised panel, so that's a traditional method for making bottoms and backs of things. I also had room for a drawer, so I put a drawer in, another raised panel. The panels in both of them is just this terrible pine that I got for really, really cheap for working on the cabin. If you've never seen one of these, how they're done, they're kind of neat. So they're dovetailed on the sides. I did a blind dovetail or a half blind dovetail and a through dovetail on the back. On this one, I put some slides in there, so the slides are also made out of maple. So this is just waxed, and it's just waxed wood on waxed wood. It slides really nice. The bottom just slides in from the back, so if you ever destroy the bottom, you can just pull one screw out, and then the whole thing slides out. You make a new one, screw back in. And this drawer front, I don't know if this will show up at all, probably not under that, but this is a carved drawer front, and this piece is just like absolutely the most beautiful piece I found in a while. This was all just the trash lumber out of the stock that I had, so I'm just really wildly impressed that it looks so good. This is all, if you guys heard the term wane means bark. These are all the bark pieces, so just the worst of the worst. I should have turned them into firewood, but here we are. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. And I'll show you a picture of it sitting in the house so you can get the idea. I took a whole bunch of pictures of this thing, but I'm not going to show any of them to you. Okay. There it is. So there's my record player, and this thing sitting right next to it. And so you can see how it just looks like one continuous thing. It just looks like a big black blob. But I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. The whole thing is dovetailed together, all traditional joinery. Yeah, that's my thing. Questions?
Did you hand cut those dovetails that curve? I'm just flabbergasted about that curve.
If you know anything about me, yes, everything was hand cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yes, it took me 30 hours. Yeah.
How did you cut the handle out?
Oh, actually, that's kind of cool. So I made a template and power carved part of it with a router. I'll actually show you this. So I saw this on a piece of mid-mod furniture. Zoom this thing out. That's the wrong way. These are typical handles on, a style of mid-mod furniture. And I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to do on the front. And so I had mocked up a bunch of different drawer fronts for this thing. And in the end, I ended up using none of my actual ideas, and I just winged it when I got here. And so I made up this template. It looks very blue. And I was able to power carve, because the whole front of the drawer is actually curved. So I power carved a bunch of it, and then I hand carved everything after that. And there is a small finger hold in there, so you can get your fingers in and actually pull on it. That shows the grain a little bit. Gosh, you just have to come look at it. Another major F up on this. So I finished this with a hard wax, and typically with a hard wax, it's like one coat and maybe two. But I took it home and I was finishing it in my garage. And I always make the joke that the shop is like the shop of perpetual darkness. My garage is so much worse. So hard waxes are really easy to apply, really difficult to mess up. I managed to mess it up. Basically, you just put it on and you buff it. You just buff it as hard as you possibly can. It should be absolutely white glove dry within 10 minutes. Just because it's all supposed to go into the wood or not be present at all. Well, somehow, the rag I was using, because I just used my old shirts and stuff, the rag I was using just put pill all over the thing. And so when I went and checked on it the next day, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. So not being a person who owns a lot of sandpaper, I ended up wet sanding it with quite a bit lower grit than I should have been using, but I wasn't about to go to the store to buy any. So I should have been wet sanding with 600 grit, and I wet sanded with 300 grit. And so it left just really fine scratches on the entire thing. So I was a little bummed with that. So then I put another coat of finish on it. That did not cover all my scratches. And then I put yet another coat of finish on it, so now it's starting to get like a little bit of a film build, which I hate. Can we do something? Oh, gosh dang it, child. Billy, fix that. Yes, I'm really bummed about that, but if you compare, like if you can run your hand across it, look at it, if you compare like the case to the drawer only has one coat and it looks like 1,000 times better. So yeah, that's my project. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Brian. That is super cool. I'm always impressed with the stuff you do. If you will check on knoxmakers.org/events, you will find all kinds of cool stuff like classes. Let's see what's not sold out. Like woodworking 202, advanced turning. You can learn how to turn a bowl. That's a very good one. As the Lathe Turns is on September 18th. You can come. It's not really a class. It's just hanging out at the lathe. There's what?
There's a theme.
Oh, there is a theme. That's right. I read about it, but now I forgot it. Wait, and I will tell you all about it if I can make this happen. I can't make it happen.
I can yell it out if you want.
Yell it.
The theme is you have a dinner party in 5 hours and you need to make something for it. So bring that with you.
You got that? You have a dinner party in 5 hours. You have to make something to take. What are you going to make on the lathe? Yeah, it'll be fun, kids. Yeah, it'll be fun, kids. And let's see what else we got. Stitch and Bitches on September 20th. Come to Fabric Arts, hang out, sew, gossip, tell maker lies. Heat press authorization is happening on the 21st. Wes, you should go there. Yeah. Next week, Tuesday evening, we will be having hamburgers and hot dogs and all kinds of wonderful foods. So come and eat. If you'd like to bring a dish, you can. You don't have to. You can bring an empty tummy and just eat and enjoy the camaraderie. We always have fun on nights that we have cookouts. There's also going to be soon, watch the calendar for a make and fight. What do you call that? Make and fight? Build and fight robots. So I know a lot of people are interested in doing robots and fighting and causing carnage and whatnot. So that will be lots of fun. Let's see. Dodie, I don't know if you can see me, but hello, because I think the stuff is broken, but hello. And I think that, oh!
Forget one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
I got really excited.
Would you like to say something? Or do you want me to say words? All right, we'll say words. There is a market coming up soon. Yeah! So, here's what we're going to do for market. We need lots of volunteers to help out. There's a sign-up sheet in hospitality, or just show up the day before, which is a Saturday, 27th. Right, 27th. We'll do a cleanup the day before. We'll get ready for market. It's always a good time of getting together. We do need to consider the dumpster. If you have anything big that needs to be thrown away, throw it away before Thursday of that week. So we'll have plenty of dumpster room, because we may want to throw stuff away as we clean. But please come and help on that Saturday. Market will begin on Sunday at noon, but come early so we can help vendors get set up and get everything going. And as usual, it's going to be terrific. Thank you, Aliki, for ramrodding this, and Joe and everybody that makes it happen. Yeah, it's going to be good. Going to be good. Okay, what else did I forget? I always forget stuff. My forgetter works better than my remember. I remembered to say hello to Dodie. If you need a tour of the shop, who's new tonight? Wow, okay. If you need a tour of the shop, see somebody with a red badge, they will be glad to help you out, show you around, teach you about membership and how this wonderful bunch of wackos works. And yeah, we'll have fun. So, with that, let's go into, question.
Quick question.
Yes,
Would you ask Joe Hall to throw his hand up there?
Joe Hall.
Joe, I'll see you in a little bit.
Joe is, yeah. Aliki, I'm glad you're here. Joe, yeah.
It's okay, I know where he lives.
Now you can find Joe. He's one of the guys with a purple beard. So okay, that's it. Let's go to the shop. Have a good time. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time.